What up, guys? This is my 7-week update video. I want to fill you guys in on how the last week has been with respect to activities and how I'm feeling, what I'm doing at the gym. I promised you guys last time that I was going to record my workouts now that I'm able to do push activities. And so I vlogged my entire push day from start to finish, including my warm up and cool down. And so I'll take you guys along for that. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to do a side panel here because the workout is pretty long and I don't really want to speed it up because I want you guys to see the tempo. So my 4-2-4-2, which basically just means that it's a 4-second concentric, 2-second hold, and then a 4-second eccentric, 2-second hold. And I try to do that with all of my lifts. Not just the compounds, but even the accessories at the end. And so for me to show you that and tag it on at the end of the video, I think will be a little bit long and redundant. So starting now, I think I'm just going to side panel it, and then you guys will be able to follow along while I'm discussing my updates through the week. So first things first, I have pretty much switched back to my right hand being the dominant hand. I no longer opt out to use my left in certain things and activities. I remember a couple weeks ago, I wasn't even able to open up my water bottle with my right side, let alone my left, because I would use my right to stabilize it, and I was scared of something happening, even stabilizing the bottle. So what I would do is I would put the bottle and hold it between my legs, like my thighs, and then I would open it with my left hand. Just visualize that. It's not the prettiest look. But I was doing it. Protein shakers, my water bottles, anything that had a twist off where I couldn't use my right to open, let alone my right to stabilize. No longer doing that. Also, pepper shakers. When I was grinding pepper for my food, I couldn't do its exact same thing. I wouldn't be able to do it with my right side, and I wouldn't be able to do it with my left because I was scared of stabilizing it. So that was I don't know how I got around that one. I think I did it just very gently and didn't eat pepper for that long, for the 2-week period. But here we are, back to opening up water bottles, back to consuming pepper. Life's good. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see in the video there, but that is what the scar looks like. It's not the prettiest looking thing, but I'm not too worried about it. Aesthetically, I am happy as long as I have my functionality, and it'll just get better from here on end. They say to use vitamin E, keep it away from the sun while it's still healing, and so I'm not the best when it comes to that, again, because I'm not too worried about the aesthetic. But for instance, when I'm running outdoors, I'm not covering this up. I'm not wearing a long sleeve t-shirt or anything to try to hide this from the rays. The reason why I'm running outside is to absorb that vitamin D. I could probably just put a bandage on this. I haven't done it. But when I'm sitting at my computer desk and I have this window in front of me, I do try to keep it away from the sun, or I will use the sleeve, the orange sleeve that they gave me when I got out of the hospital. It was kind of like the under sleeve that I had when I was in my ratcheting brace. I'll put that on if I'm sitting in front of the computer or if I'm doing work for a longer period of time, just to keep unnecessary rays from it. Lastly, I'm pretty happy with the progress. I like the way that things are going. When this initially happened, I was devastated. I thought, one, my strength and my cardio was going to go down, which it has, but because I continued to work out, I think that it didn't go down as much as I originally thought. 2, I thought my physique was going to go to complete trash. I think the fact that I was continuing to work out through the whole procedure, through the whole rehab process, I spoke about it in one of the previous videos, I'll link it up here. I think part of the benefits of working out while injured was that my physique hasn't gone to complete shit. Definitely a little soft in some areas, which is understandable. But if this is my starting point, if this is where I can start using and moving the barbell around again, I'm happy with that. And obviously there's work that needs to be done, but my ground zero now is a lot better than it probably would have been if I abstained from all activity. And so I'm content with that. And next week I'm going to start doing pulling movements, bilateral pulling movements. And so that's just even going to add to it even more. I think the fact that I was doing legs still twice a week, I was trying to go out for runs, and if not runs, then walks. I think that helped a lot when it came to just keeping everything in check. As far as my physio goes, physiotherapy is going well. I have another appointment tomorrow. I will record that for you guys and include it in the next video. But my range of motion is fine. I have no limitations when it comes to flexion and extension. No discomfort in any parts of the bicep or the forearm. No sharpshooting pains. My supination and my pronation are probably still not back to 100%. But I don't know if you guys can see that there. It's kind of hard to tell. But a good way to be able to visually see it better is if you hold like a dowel or like some sort of like rod. That way you can see that if you are like 2 or 3 degrees differ, the angulation that the dowel will point at the end of range will be that much easier to see, as opposed to just like eyeballing it from just your arms. But if you do that, it's not too far off. It's almost equivalent. The only thing that is troublesome is that you do feel it when you take it to the end range of motion, which is something that'll go away with time. Again, I'm only 7 weeks in, so to assume that everything would be 100% back to normal, I think is a little bit greedy. And so I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I will include my pull workouts next week that Dr. John Patrizio has laid out for me. But as far as my push workouts are going now, the one that I recorded is the second push workout. And so the first one was a little bit iffy. Obviously coming back into something, first time actually using my right side. But the second one, the one that I just did, the one that you guys are seeing now, felt good. Obviously not back to what I was doing prior to the injury. And I'm still getting used to the tempo of the workouts. I've never really been one to hold that weight, slow the rep down that long, going down or going up. And so time under tension in these workouts for me are new. I was more of an explosive, not necessarily bounce it off the chest, but explode from the bottom and try to get as much strength on the way up as you can. Whereas now it's like you're literally going just like a machine, like a piston, just up and down. And you feel it a little bit. The muscles have been dormant. And so weight that you're not normally induce fatigue are going to induce fatigue. And so for me, for the bench press, I worked up to about a plate. And you guys are going to see that in the video on the left. I went up incrementally by 10 pounds each side. Started with the bar, 10, 25, 35, 45. And at 45, I stayed there for about 3 sets. Did that for reps of 5 as per Dr. John Patrizio. The way he explained it was that you should be doing a weight that will give you enough stimulus where you feel like you have 3 or 4 left in the tank, so 3 or 4 RIR, reps in reserve, and you should do that for sets of 3 with your compound movements. And so those compound movements in my push workout were barbell bench press and standing military press. And so I think for barbell bench press, I got up to 135. For my military press, I think I might have got up to 10 pounds a side. So 65 pounds. Started with the bar, and then you can see that when I was pushing the bar up, I was already grimacing, and so I knew I wasn't going to go up that much further from there. And that for me, the shoulder press movement, the military press, down at the bottom, so before it reaches your chest or your shoulder girdle, I felt the stretch on my arm. So it wasn't necessarily the fatigue of the workout. It was more so range of motion being limited. And so I was very, very slow in bringing it down, very, very slow in bringing it up. And that's something that I chose to continue working as opposed to doing more chest exercises. I am very chest dominant, chest and trap. That's just the way I'm built, my genetics. And so I don't tend to do as much chest exercises as the next person. My chest and my traps take away from my shoulders, which is why I focus on more shoulders when I'm doing a push workout. And this workout, the one that you guys are seeing, reflects that. You see that I only did one chest movement. I did barbell bench press, and then all my other exercises were focusing on hitting the deltoids. Haven't been doing any rear delts. That's something that I feel will come after my next block, so after weeks 8 to 10, just because it's putting the arm in that extended position. And so I want to give some more time for the healing process and allow the other muscles to get back into function. Or something that you guys are going to run into when you get back into pushing the barbell is the fact that up until this point, if you're anything like me, you've been working your non-injured side out isolaterally. So by itself, you've either been doing single dumbbell bench press for push, you've been doing single dumbbell rows for your pull days, single arm lat pull downs, basically anything on your left side you've been doing. And so because of that, your left side is stronger now than it was before the injury. For me, that was the silver lining to the injury. It was my dominant side that got injured, so my non-dominant side, or I don't know what you call that, my left side was always lagging in terms of bilateral movements. You can see when I'm benching heavy here that the sticky point was my left side, and that's just because it's fatigued faster than my right. My right is stronger. And so I told myself going into these workouts while my hand was in a cast or a brace, I'm going to finally be able to build up that left side so that it reaches the strength and the endurance that my right side has. And so that was great. For the past 8 weeks, give or take, since the day of injury, I've been working my left side hard. I haven't been slacking. I've been lifting heavy within reason, and I liked it. It felt good. I almost saw my core come out more because of all the stabilizations that I had to do when I was just using that one side. And so I think that was awesome. I might even incorporate that in my workouts once I'm back to fully functional. Maybe devote certain exercises where I'm only using one side at a time, even though I'll be doing both. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But my problem now is that once Dr. Patrizio gave me the green light to be able to get back into bilateral movements, the limiting factor for my bench press is going to be my injured side. So for example, benching, I usually bench anywhere from 2 plates to 3 for my working sets, depending on how intense I want to go that day. The most I benched during this workout was 1 plate, 135 pounds. Now, my left side isn't going to get much from that, especially if I've been like on machine presses or single dumbbell bench pressing up until for the past 6 weeks. And so I thought that because my injured side is limiting me, my left side is not going to get a workout. Should I continue training the left side isolaterally while my right side is catching up? And so what that would have looked like was, after my bench press, should I have gone into a machine press where you can isolate the weight on each side and push my left at a higher degree than my right? And I sat there and I started thinking about it. So this is something that I hadn't gone over with my orthopedic surgeon or my physiotherapist, but the way I came to a conclusion was that for the past 6-8 weeks, depending on how you want to look at it, either day of injury or day of surgery, I have been beating up my left side. My left side it's the only thing I can do at the gym. I was hitting it twice a week, push and pull. And so coming into this push workout, this barbell push workout where I'm actually using both sides, I thought of it more so as a deload or deload weeks upcoming for my left side. And if any of you guys who have programmed your workouts, you know that after a specific amount of weeks, training hard, training with certain intensities and progressively overloading, you should have a deload, meaning you back off the intensity, allow the muscles to recover while still working it out. So not complete abstinence from workout. You're not just sitting at home not doing anything, but you're doing weight way lighter than you were doing prior to that deload week. And so right now, I am looking at these next couple of weeks while I'm slowly reintegrating my right side as a deload week for my left. And because of that, I am not really adding anything to my left side while I'm starting to get stronger again and rehab my right side with these bilateral movements. I don't think I'm going to deload my legs so much. Legs can take a beating. You'll see in my next video or the video after that when I decide to upload my leg workout that I'm using the safety bar when it comes to squats, and I just can't get under it. I don't know if it's because I'm used to low bar squatting, but I can't really get comfortable under it, and I'm not doing so much weight. Oh, that's another thing that I've noticed at the gym, especially with the squat, with the safety bar squat. I'm not pushing myself where I'm only hitting reps at 3 or 4. My intensity hasn't gone up that fast or that high yet, but there are times when I'm pushing rep 5, rep 6, and that I would normally grind out, that now there's this voice in the back of my head saying, just rack it, you don't want to get injured. Don't go for that extra rep or 2 because something might happen in your knee, and I know that's only because of what had happened to my bicep. I know that's kind of like some sort of PTSD from that deadlift where my distal bicep tore on that rep. And I'm hoping that it goes away because I feel like a lot of my gains came from those last 2 or 1 reps that I would push myself. But there's also a little bit of in the back of my head where is that last rep worth the potential risk of like a torn ACL, a blown meniscus, some sort of pull in your adductors or your glutes, all these things that are just circulating in your head now. I think that's just something that you have to overcome mentally and will obviously do over time, but still now when the injury is fresh and you're rehabbing it, I don't think, and this is just what I say to make myself feel better, I don't think I need to be pushing myself to that point where I'm hyping myself up for those last rep or 2. The other day at the gym, I wish I had taken pictures prior to starting to work out again, just to see the comparison between how much atrophy actually occurred on my right side and what the difference was compared to my left. So I was doing tricep extensions, and you'll see towards the end of the video here that the difference in size of my arm, not only because of my bicep being injured, but because the whole arm in it itself wasn't being used. So there was obviously atrophy in the tricep and the shoulders and just a bunch of mass. And so I immediately noticed, I didn't really notice it day to day, but when I was recording these tricep extensions for you guys and I played back the left and the right side, it looked substantially smaller. Could have been the lighting. Maybe that's just what I'm telling myself, but there is some atrophy there. But anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. That's week 7. I finished it off with a sauna session, as you guys can see here. I usually do that 2 or 3 times a week now. And then the other times I'm either running or I'm on the Stairmaster for a quick little bout of cardio, followed up with the Normatec sleeves that I have shown you guys in one of the YouTube shorts that I uploaded. But anyway, if you guys have any questions or are curious as to what I'm capable of doing at this point in my rehab, feel free to ask. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, liking. Please subscribe if you haven't, and just keep commenting. Let me know what's going on with you guys. I'm always curious to see how we differ or how we are similar in terms of our rehab process. Also, if I'm missing anything or if you're doing something that I'm not, please let me know. See you guys week 8 for my pull workout. Adios.